Welcome to the Modern Stock Car Cup Tour in Race 9 out of 28. In Season 3, we are here from Kansas Speedway in Kansas City, Kansas. That's a lot of Kansas. Toto, we're not in Kansas anymore. If you don't know what that's from The Sound of Music. Anyways, we are running the H&R Block 400, which of course, people told me when the season started, man, why do you have Kansas on the schedule? It's such a boring cookie cutter. People said the same thing to me last year with Las Vegas. And after the Las Vegas race was boring and it only had, the only shining moment of that Las Vegas race was that it had a green-white checkered because somebody was kind of being stupid. In fact, it's the number 30 of Doug Doering. He spun down pit road because he was going in too fast and he locked the brakes up. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't mind Kansas because it produces good racing most of the time. There's a lot of memorable NASCAR highlights from Kansas, including the 2008 famous finish between Jimmy Johnson and Carl Edwards. The famous line from Dale Jarrett, he put him in the wall, or something like that. Regardless, you can tell that this is going to be an interesting show because all the top threes are Dodges. Then you got a Pontiac, you got a Ford. That's your top five right there. And you got a whole bunch of manufacturers being represented. We used to have a Mercedes actually running in this league. That would be the 69 of Richard Birmingham, who's competed part-time in all three seasons. In fact, he won the first ever race ran in this league's history, the Daytona 250, which was what it was called back then, because it was 100 laps. Then we decided, you know what? The mileage isn't going to actually reflect how long the race is. Regardless, though, from Kansas Speedway, Ronnie Martin on the outside pole today with Ryan Adema to his inside. Of course, everybody in the top, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, everybody in the top 10 has at least one win this year. Not this year, sorry, I'm messing stuff up again. It's one career cup win or more. Adema has 4, Martin has 1, which is at Atlanta this year. Alvarez has 3? No, he has 2, sorry. Doering has 2, Rex has 2, Wilkins has 3, Salvador has 2, Fang has 1, Arnsdorf has 1, and Aguilar has 2. And then Jacob Thibodeau, starting in 11th, does not have any except for his MSCCT win at Homestead. Regardless, though, this is going to be an interesting race considering the new aero package in these setups. It's absolutely insane how fast these cars are running. They are hitting, when they are at full speed and drafting off each other, almost 210 miles per hour down the backstretch going into turn 3. They usually don't hit that highest speed going off of the front stretch into 1, but on the back stretch is where they get the most speed, and they end up bringing it to about 208 to 209, which, remember, is more than the track record at Auto Club, which is 206, and that's a 2-mile super speedway. This is a 1.5-mile cookie cutter. So yeah, you can write off Kansas all you want, but I'm telling you right now, I think there's going to be a lot of carnage. There's going to be a lot of lead changes. I don't even think Adema is going to hold the lead after lap 1, because that's how vulnerable that inside pole sitter is here at this racetrack. Regardless, though, 81 laps. It's the H&R Block 400 from Kansas Speedway in Race 9 of the Modern Stock Car Cup Tour. With that being said, it's time for our driver command. Let's take a listen to the number 16 of Santiago Alvarez.
Drivers, start your engines! Just like we talked about the transporter. Dizzy end of pit road. The last pit box is the timing line. Where the last white line on pit exit is the line. Big thumbs up, my friend. Have a good time.
It's time for the starting lineup. Row 1, Ronnie Martin and Ryan Adema. Row 2, Santiago Alvarez and Doug Doering. Row 3, Carlos Rex and Dan Wilkins. Row 4, Armin Salvador and Sarah Fang, 2 teammates. Row 5, Darian Arnsdorf and Luis Aguilar. Row 6, Jacob Thibodeau and Kyle Driscoll. Row 7, Chase Buck and Riley Wedge. Row 8, Creed Daniel and Nolo Hamilton. Row 9, Brandon Allen and Gallon Fleming. Row 10, Hunter Walker and Molly Fleming. Row 11, Werrell Daltrip and JJU. Row 12, Sam Joseph and Chris Lattimore. Row 13, Jackson Snyder and Logan Williams. Row 14, Nelson Reeves and Yuri Najimi. Row 15, Daniel Rivera and Jesse Owens Jr. Row 16, Adeline Galvin and Leland Hill. Here's the rest of the field for you as we go back all the way to the last position. Pace car is off. Adema on the inside. Martin on the outside. Top three all dodges. Here we go to the line. From the H&R Block 400 at Kansas, we have a green flag. The outside line lost a lot of momentum on that first turn. Adema completely capitalized, and Martin fell outside of the top three just on the first turn. He's side by side with Santiago Alvarez back at the stripe. He leads by less than a car length. In fact, that was about 4/100th of a second as Martin dips low, trying to save himself from being really stuck up there. That outside lane just doesn't have the same grip or doesn't have the same effectiveness, regardless of what the reason is. It seems to work really well on the front stretch and on the back stretch, but in the corners it's abysmal. And that's why Adema keeps on going from high to low to try to block everybody else. They're three wide. Look at this battle right here between Arnsdorf and Rex, which are teammates and two co-owners of the All-Star Speed Team, and Armin Salvador in the 52 to his outside. Although Salvador's falling back. He'll fall back in the line, though, picking up Doug Doring. This top four is kind of separated as, man, Adema, terrible run off of two. It's Alvarez and Martin that are side by side with Dan Wilkins waiting in the wings in the third position. He started in sixth today. He's been able to capitalize on some good strategies on basically hugging the apron. Now he's running up near the front here on lap 5 now. And now, thanks to Martin's misfortune, Wilkins will now take the lead away. He's looking for his first win of the season. He's got 3 in his career. Season 1 at Charlotte, as he led most of the Coca-Cola 600. And then he swept both Daytona races, both the one that started the season and the one that ended the regular season in race 25. The American Airlines 500 and the Publix 400. 2 race sponsors right there. They've devolved kind of into single-file racing, but I don't think that'll last very long, especially in some of these mid-pack battles. Let's go through the field here on lap 6 of 81 in the H&R Block 400. Your current leader, Dan Wilkins in the 00. Back in second, Ronnie Martin in the 29. Ryan Adema in third in the 92. And Adema's former teammate and co-owner, Chase Buck, in fourth. Creed Daniel back in 5th, Luis Aguilar, a DWR car, in 6th, a former DWR car, Santiago Alvarez, in 7th, Darian Arnsdorf in 8th, Sam Joseph made his way all the way from mid-pack to the top 10, he's in 9th, and Doug Doring is in 10th. In 11th, you have Brandon Allen, and in 12th, you have Jacob Thibodeau. In 13th, there's Carlos Rex, and his teammate, Hunter Walker, is in 15th, right behind him. There is Armin Salvador. I don't know why I said Santiago. He's back in 17th, and Nolo Hamilton's one position ahead of him in 16th. Jesse Owens Jr. in his brand new Lord Huron paint scheme. He's just fallen back from 18th to 19th as Sarah Feng made a pass on him. Jackson Snyder might be making a pass on the 24 as well. He's a proclaimed fan of this indie band. I think it's indie or it's rock, whatever, called Lord Huron. I've listened to some of their work, and, I don't care for it, honestly, but music taste is subjective. You can enjoy whatever you wish to enjoy. Just not everybody's going to like the same things as everybody else, and that's why music is one of the most opinionated industries in the world. Going back to the front of the field, though, Dan Wilkins has lost his lead and had a bad fall from grace. He was leading by over 1/3 of a second. Now he's losing by a 1/2 second to Martin. And even Creed Daniel is going to make a pass on the 00. See how he's rolling. He's going to hold his line in third as Martin kind of pulls away here. See what this gap is at the line between Martin and Creed Daniel. 0.72, as now Wilkins trying to peek down low, trying to make the pass. Creed Daniel tried to make a block, but it was unsuccessful. Now Ryan Adema might try to make it 3 wide, but Wilkins is pulling away from that group, and now one might believe that, Brandon Allen is now pitting unexpectedly on lap 11. The fuel window is not supposed to be any more than 25 to 30 laps, so I don't know if this is a mechanical problem or an unexpected stoppage. It's probably one of the two. Let's take a look at the 16 of Santiago Alvarez, currently running in 6th. Brandon Allen now coming back out onto the track. He will be in dead last and 42nd. He'll be 2 laps down since he couldn't come out in front of the leaders at first. Hopefully he doesn't wreck himself here. He kind of instructed himself or presented himself as a blockade to the 52. Varman Salvador in 12th. Essentially, they're all single file right now. Ronnie Martin still has a decent lead, though, here on lap 14 of 81. Only real battle at the front right now is between 2 teammates, the 98 and the 14, battling for the 10th position, looks like, because Jacob Thibodeau is solidly in 9th, and right now Doug Doring is wedging his nose in and essentially telling these folks to break it up. That's not what he's telling them, but he's essentially acting that way by sticking his nose in there. He just blocked 2 teammates from being next to each other, because now the 98's kind of forced to help the 30. There's Brandon Allen falling back quite far off pace. There's Riley Wedge in 15th, having a struggling rookie season, but hopefully this finish will be something good for his team if he's able to pull it off. If he's able to even finish the race. It's a battle for 32nd between Daniel Rivera and Will Daltrip, although that's not really going anywhere. And not a good day for Jesse Owens Jr. All the way back in 36th. Not a good start for him. What can I tell you? I mean, it's a turn of the tides. Now it's Aguilar and Carlos Rex going at it for what appears to be his 7th position. Man, that was close to the line. Rex got that help. That would be for the 8th position, because Thibodeau's in 7th. He's going to lose the ground, though. He's going to lose 4 spots if Armin passes him, which I think Armin's going to pass him with ease. He might not pass him with ease, but he's not going to go down without a fight. Aguilar and Salvador, this is for the 12th position. And Aguilar again falling back. So yeah, that lead between Martin and Dan Wilkins, which was over 3/4 of a second at one point, has now fallen all the way to 1/4 of a second, if not less. Now, it increased on that last lap. It increased by exactly 1/10 of a second, as Dan Wilkins tried wedging his nose in to the 65 of Creed Daniel, but did not get any progress, and he stays in 3rd. Honestly, if Martin wins this race, I think he'd be a lock for Rookie of the Year. 2 wins in your first 9 starts? That's pretty impressive. And you didn't even make the main show of the American Airlines 500 this year because he crashed into DC Solar Rookie Dash, which is what his entire paint scheme is revolving around. The tire barrier. He's kind of made a joke out of himself for that. Now Dan is now in 2nd as Creed Daniel falling back again. He was in 2nd. Now he's going to finish the lap in 4th or 5th if Adema doesn't pass him. And again, another tenth of a second gap increase between Martin and Wilkins. Now 0.45 on the board. Your current top 10, though, it's shifted a little bit, even though the leader has stayed the same. It's Ronnie Martin, Dan Wilkins, Santiago Alvarez, Creed Daniel, Ryan Adema, Chase Buck, Jacob Thibodeau, Carlos Rex, Doug Doring, and Armin Salvador. Brandon Allen's still in the race, just 2 laps down, and looks like he's still working with the other folks up there. Where is he? He's actually kind of snugly fit in where he appears to be 14th, but no, he's in 42nd. Now, I was expecting an early caution, but the racing, it's spread itself out, and I wasn't expecting it to do that. I was expecting a yellow in the first 10 laps. We haven't seen that. It might take until the green flag pit stops kick in until somebody messes up. Remember, the fuel window is about 25 to 30 laps. And it's not like the racetrack is extremely hot either. It's only 55 degrees here in Kansas City. So it's not like it's a flaming hot racetrack. I mean, if you think about it, it's a racetrack in the middle of the Midwest in late March. It's not exactly a blooming tree yet. Martin still leads, although Creed Daniel tried to get down low. Seems like a lot of people don't want to use that apron on the front stretch. There's no yellow line rule at these intermediates, so you can run as low as you want to go. It's not like you're going to be penalized for going below the apron on the track like this. Yeah, you might be going fast, but doesn't mean that you're not going to be what's it called? You're not going to be like scrutinized or penalized for going below that yellow line. It's not even a yellow line, it's a white line. It doesn't turn into a yellow line until right there when it goes into the turns, because that signifies the pit, the don't entry for the pit. So, like, right there, that's where you can enter the dotted line. That's kind of your zone. As now, it seems like the rest of this top 10 has caught up to the leaders. There's Thibodeau, Doring. Adema's going down low. He stays out on the track, though. They're side-by-side for several of these positions. There's Rex and Thibodeau, and Alvarez and Adema. And now, Jesse Owens Jr. has fallen all the way to the back, as he is the last car on the lead lap. He's in 41st. We're approaching that point where you have to think, okay, how long are these cars going to be able to last on fuel? There's no takers on pit road right now. They're still going at it. Creed Daniel in the 65 in third. Ronnie Martin is slowing. He's going to pit lane. And so are a few other guys. Doug Doring, Carlos Rex. And it looks like they're the only major takers right now. But that means your new leader will be the 00 of Dan Wilkins, considering how long that probably won't last due to the green flag pit stops. And are these guys takers? Yes, they are. It looks like all of them are takers right now. Oh, Alvarez kind of stuck his nose in there. That's not what you want to see. They were coming in a lap late. It's Matthew Green. Basically everybody on the lead lap right now. Oh, boy. They're getting dicey. Of course they're getting dicey on pit lane. Because what else is new? That's what they always have done. They've always been extremely risky on pit lane. And now Aguilar, who technically was being scored as the leader, along with the only other guys who have even dared stay out for this long. are now entering the pit lane. So the Jackson had to stop to get to his pit stall. There's Williams. I mean, Allen's been staying out this whole time. He's getting his laps back. Although a bunch of people are actually a lap down because of the current situation. A bunch of people leaving pit road, though. That would mean that Brennan Wilmington was the current leader. Because he was the last lead lap car to stay out, and now he's kind of paying the price. It's bad timing. I mean, yeah, you get to lead a lap, but it's not like you get any bonus points for leading a lap. There's no bonus points in this Cup division, or in any division in the MSCCT. If you lead a lap, then boo-hoo. You know, that's great. Do you want a medal? You're not going to get one. If you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. You don't get any bonuses for doing anything in the middle of the race. It's what matters at the end. They're still scoring Brennan Wilmington as the leader, but I would assume that since he's on pit lane, is he still there? Or is he leaving just now? Where is the 62? Is he... Yeah, there he is. 62's just now coming up on track. It's probably going to pick up 29 as the leader. Doering and Wilkins side by side. Again, Wilkins losing that momentum. Going back to third. Doering in second in that number 30 Pontiac. Even the 19 of Chase Buck might catch up to him. We're on lap 35 out of 81 in the MSCCT's 8th race of the 3rd season. Right now, Ronnie Martin leads over Doug Doering, Dan Wilkins, Chase Buck, and Creed Daniel. Since we don't have much going on and green flag pit stops have just cycled through, it's time to crank it up. Maybe not that high. Yellow flag is out on the racetrack. Yellow flag is out. I completely messed up the audio. Ronnie Martin leads at the time of the yellow. Caution is for Brandon Allen in the 70, who apparently made a bunch of debris. Brings out our first yellow of the afternoon. Took him a long enough time. Now everybody's sort of... Why are they... They were slowing up so fast. It almost like they jammed up a little bit. Like, does nobody know how to use their brakes here? My goodness. Any takers in the pits? Yes, some takers. That'll be interesting. Martin, who's led almost every single lap, is pitting. As there is a spin, Ryan Adema has spun around under yellow and dropped some debris on the front stretch that everybody's just now picking up. What just happened? Did Brandon Allen forget how to use his brakes? He's passing around on the outside because he's the wave around. And he just hits the 92 and sends him around. 85 got damaged along with the 52, so... Now, Adema's getting back to where he was, because he's like, nah, I'm not going to lose my spot. Now, here's the question that everybody's asking. Adema just got wrecked by a lapped car under yellow. Does this mean that he's going to pit unexpectedly due to the damage, or will that not happen? It's a good question. It's a good question. Right now, everyone in the top 4 has not won a race this year. Chase, Dan, Creed, and Jacob. Only Adama has won a race this year out of these top 5. And that was at Homestead in the second race of the year, where he had a great battle with Kyle Driscoll and Sarah Feng, and eventually beat them out. Homestead has had a great racing product over the past couple of years. They've done a great job. Pace lights are still on, so we will not be going green until at least next time by. There's Santiago Alvarez, who did pit under the yellow. See where Ronnie ends up. He'll be in 35th. And all these guys lining up the back of the field. There is Brandon Allen getting work done on pit lane. He brought out the yellow because of his debris, and as we were under caution, brought out the yellow for... Well, he didn't bring out the yellow. He brought out the uh-oh moment for wrecking Ryan Adama under the yellow flag. Back to the stripe. Lap 40 will be underway. Pace lights are off. We're going green, and this time by. Man, the wrecking under caution was more exciting than the actual reason for the yellow in the first place. That's not something you see every day. But we're about halfway through, which means, considering that these cars are using more fuel and more resources under yellow than they are under green, then that could mean that, you never know, just maybe, we'll see some unexpected pit stops in maybe the next 10 or so laps. Of course, that's for the rest of the guys. Everybody else in the back here, like Alvarez and Martin, they've already pitted. So it's not an issue. It'll be Chase Buck on the inside, Dan Wilkins on the outside on this restart on lap 41, almost exactly halfway through. Your top 10, Buck, Wilkins, Daniel, Thibodeau, Adama, Salvador, Wedge, Snyder, Aguilar, and Sam Joseph. Green flag is out. We're getting back going. We'll see if Adama kind of gets held up here. He either holds himself up or he holds everybody else up because he's got that right side damage. Doesn't look like it, though. He's still being competitive. In fact, he's moving up some positions due to that faltering of the outside line. Here comes Creed Daniel on the inside. Creed Daniel will overtake Chase Buck for the lead. The 13 of Donna Wilkins, who's running in 10th right now. I don't know. Kind of held up the rest of the field there. At least on that last lap. It looked like there was a large gap between drivers. Creed Daniel pulling out in front. Adama right behind him in second. His teammate, Riley Wedge, moved up from 5th to 3rd. Great run off of 2 for Riley Wedge. He might even pass his own team owner. If he can move the 92 up the track, whether it's by force or by draft or whatever, by sheer intimidation from the native of Cleveland, Ohio, Riley Wedge really looking for redemption here. He's had a bad start to his rookie year. This would be a really good change, and a needed change for him. But right behind him, right on his tail, is the 55 Luis Aguilar. Now Aguilar might be going to the inside of the 85, trying to make that pass for what will be the 4th position. He's going to get it, yeah. Wedge is going to fall out of favor. He's going to lose a lot of spots. In fact, Aguilar might pass Adema for 2nd. He will not, at least not on this circuit of turns. Jacob Thibodeau, again, losing a little bit of ground. Armin Salvador right behind him in the 52 in 8th. Creed Daniel with a rather decent lead. About 0.3 of a second. That might grow, though. Look at Aguilar making the run on the inside of Adema. Their lap times have been a little bit indifferent. The 55 Luis Aguilar last lap was a 29.276. For Adema, it was a 29.408. Again, a little bit slower, but I tell you who's a bit faster than the rest of these, including the 55 and the 92. 00 Dan Wilkins. Last lap was a 29.138. The fastest lap of the day belongs to Santiago Alvarez, who is currently running up the back of the field in 32nd, right behind the 05 and in front of the 13. His fastest lap, which was the fastest of the day, 28.703. So he's had a lot really going for him today, even if it's not resulting in a lead right now. Well, Luis Aguilar just shot past Creed Daniel. Let's see what happened there. Did he get a good run? Oh, yeah. Look at this run. Oh, my goodness. He had a great run. New leader, Luis Aguilar. He would be the 9th straight unique winner in a row. I mean, considering we had 17 unique winners last year and 12 alone to start the season, or that would be 11. It was the 12th race that streak was broken at Talladega when Ian Korob won that race. I mean, half the field was out by lap 10. Jacob Thibodeau in 4th trying to overtake the number 00 of Dan Wilkins. Now, I have a feeling Creed might get him back. Just give me a feeling here. You can hear something in the engine. He's either shifting gears or his engine's sputtering or something. I mean, that lap didn't really change the deficit at all. It actually made it a little bit closer, but it's still further away than what it was maybe one lap ago this time on the back. I mean, they had a great run. And guess who's in the top 10 right now? Guess what? It's Caden Robatale. Made his debut at Talladega and finished 4th in just his first race. And yeah, you could write off and say, well, Talladega's a super speedway. Anybody can do well at Talladega. And you'd be right. But the thing is that Robatale did so in his first race of any division. Creed Daniel passing Luis Aguilar, getting a little bit of redemption. He's getting his position back. Here comes Dan Wilkins. Right now, a lot of single file racing on the bottom. That bottom line. Luis Aguilar trying to get his spot back. And Dan Wilkins almost jumping to the inside. Didn't get anything of it. Oh, Aguilar's trying to force him up high. He does. They're neck and neck off of 4. Creed and Aguilar. Oh, Creed's barely got it, but I think Aguilar's got a good shot in this corner. As Thibodeau's trying to help the 55. Yeah, there goes Creed. He's lost it. Here comes the 19, trying to make a run, trying to peek to the inside of the 87. Thibodeau with a great run. Now he's solidly in 2nd. Back to the line. Lap 55 for the 55. now underway. He's got about a 4/10 of a second lead over the 87. As of right now, since we're more than halfway through, all cars are on the track. The only car that is not on the lead lap is Brandon Allen, 2 laps down. And he's somewhere up here. Yeah, he's there. He's running with the field. He's not like he's fallen back. He's not off pace. He's running competitive lap times. Thibodeau closing in a little bit. Made it 0.08 on that last lap. Aguilar sliding up the track a little bit. Thibodeau really looking for his first Cup win. I mean, he's already got 1 win this year in a lower tier. But that's not good enough for you. If you're a Cup driver like Kyle Busch and you win in the Xfinity Series or the Truck Series, yeah, that's great and all, but you want that Cup win more than you want anything else. He's closing in even more. Another 0.08 again. Now he's a 1/4 of a second back behind the 55 Dodge of Aguilar. There's Salvador trying to get a good run on the 00 for 5th. Trying to sneak his way into the top 5. At this point right now, Salvador, at least in the point standings, he's standing in 7th with 1 top 5, 4 top 10s, and 5 top 20s. So this would already be another top 10 for him, which he's had a lot of this year. Aguilar and Thibodeau going at it again, and there's Creed Daniel and Chase Buck for 3rd. Aguilar is kind of pulling away, although that was a good run from Thibodeau. I'll admit that right now. He might pass him on this turn. Aguilar blocks. Yeah, there might not be many cautions, but at least there's good racing, as Thibodeau, with possibly the greatest run of his life, passes Aguilar for the lead. Creed Daniel back in 3rd now, trying to be the next one to swallow up the 55. Current top 5, Thibodeau, Aguilar, Creed, Daniel, Chase, Buck, and Dan Wilkins, as they're all going to the pits on lap 60 with 22 to go. Main guy who stays out is Caden Robitaille right now. Basically, everybody else is staying out. Already, there was a bunch of people in the first place who were on the pits. But these are just the main guys coming in now. Everybody's making a stop. So this will score the 22 as the leader. Oh boy. Hang on to him. Hang on to him. There's Reeves. So I would assume everybody else who had just pitted, they're now coming back up onto the track. Yeah. That looks like that's going to be the deal. Everybody's kind of getting a cycle in right now. I mean, the 14 is currently the leader. Who are they scoring as the leader? Right now it's the 14 who is on the track. Unless Doring and Rex are the only ones that haven't pitted, then that might mean that we have a new leader that's here to stay, which will be the 14 of Carlos Rex. Which would be interesting considering that Rex already has a win this year. He won at Watkins Glen in the Snow Derby. Classic race. Classic race. And hey, Nate Relham in 4th. It's now almost everyone is at least a lap down. That's just what showed up on my board. I would really have to assume that the 14 and 30 have either not pitted yet or this is going to be a disaster. I'm hoping that not everyone is... Let's see. Everybody else is staying out, which makes me think, are they really trying to stretch it on fuel with less than 20 to go? You can just pit and make up your spots, make up your time. Does Doring... Oh, I think they're either pitting or... Yes, they're finally pit... Well, Rex is. Doring's like, nah, I'm out of here. Doring's keeping course. This is going to be very weird with only 7 cars on the lead lap. More cars at the Watkins Glen Snow Derby finished on the lead lap. I believe that was 9 or 8. Now Doring's basically running solo laps out there. I don't think he has any intention to pit right now. Yep, he's staying out for another lap. So unless he's already pitted before, which he has not, to confirm, he has not pitted. He is really stretching it. Yup, he's out of gas. Or I thought so. I think he just switched to the second fuel tank. Now, yeah. He's losing that gas again. Now he's going. Took him long enough. Here comes Alvarez. Nate Relham right behind him. Now it'll be Nate Relham in the lead, which... Boy, that'll be an interesting comeback story for him. Now it's only 6 cars on the lead lap. I mean, Adama's in 40th. One of the 3 cars that are more than 1 lap down. Although he might unlap himself here if he passes Relham. Now Relham's coming in. I believe Salvador already pitted. Starr already pitted. He's the last car on the track. 3 laps down. Oh my goodness, this is unusual to say the least. Now this means that I guess Nate Relham is still being scored as the leader, although he's getting service. This is just making my brain hurt. Where's Alvarez in all this? He's back there. Very weird indeed. There's Felipe Ford. We haven't talked about him much. Yeah, Armin Salvador is in the lead. Jacob Thibodeau is being scored as second, and now everyone kind of gets their position back. Positions back. Only Patrick Starr and Brandon Allen have gotten dust bitten, as they are 2 laps down in each form. Salvador up in front. There's Sam Joseph. Everybody's kind of winding down here, and they're hopefully not going to have too much of an issue with everything. And the yellow flag is out with 11 laps to go. Don't know what for. Here's your high-speed pace laps. As Marty Reed used to say before he was fired from ESPN, well, this changes everything. With now we're kind of setting up for a restart with maybe 6 to go, 5 to go. See if there's any takers on pit lane. I don't think so, because the green flag pit cycle just finished. So if there's anybody coming on pit lane, I'd be surprised. I don't see any takers. Now, right now, only 1 taker it looks like. I think, if I saw any. 54 of Leland Hill was the only taker on pit lane. That is unusual. That is very weird. Just looking through the field here, seeing what's cooking, what's going on, and what's kind of really shaping up for these cars. As really, as you go through and as you go along, like there's, well, Darian Arnsdorf running out of line. He's in 19th right now, behind Jesse Owens Jr. and in front of the 13. I think the 13 might be going to pit lane. No, 13 staying out. 98's coming in unexpectedly. Under yellow. Might be running low on fuel. His pit stops, or his pit stall, is near the front. And he's out. He is out of the race with a supposed oil leak. That is probably what brought out the yellow. I don't know why he was able to run pace if his oil was leaking. But take that as you will. This could very well be a third win for Armin Salvador. People don't really talk about him that much. But guess what? He has made a big impact, especially since he's already up near the front of the points. He's currently in 7th behind Ronnie Martin and in front of Carlos Rex. If he wins here, might be a big difference in determining how he shoots up the board. Right now, the top 5 in the point standings, that would be Dan Wilkins, who's running in 7th, Nelson Reeves, who's running in 12th, Kyle Driscoll, who is in the 80 and he's running in 6th, Chase Buck in the 19, who's up ahead of him at 4th, and Ryan Adama, not with the best of luck, but he's back in 38th, as now Brandon Allen has problems. That's not good. He's 3 laps down, and he's having problems here. He just got shoved by the 08, who's the only other non-lead lap car besides, well, Arnsdorf, who's now out with an oil leak. Starr is 1 lap down. Allen is 2. Now, they're getting back up to speed now. Top 10, Salvador, Thibodeau, Daniel, Buck, Aguilar, Driscoll, Wilkins, Wedge, Rivera, last week's winner, and Coppola into the picture. Green flag on lap 75 of 81 from Kansas. Oh, Creed Daniel. Oh, boy, I was planning to be silent for that first half lap. I can't be anymore. Creed Daniel was already making it, trying to go 3 wide. Salvador jumps out in front. Making sure there's no wrecks, yeah. And that was worrying me, though, because I thought the 70 was going to, like, have an engine die on him or something. They're all side by side trying to divvy up the competition. All trying to race each other hard. Salvador he jumped out to a half-second lead on the first lap. That shows something. Let's see if Creed Daniel got a good enough run to challenge him. It's looking good for Creed right now. He got a good run. Hey, Pacific Racing already has 2 wins this year, which is more than what they had all last year. They only had 1 win, which was Creed Daniel's dominant win in the 28 car when he was sponsored by Zeralto at Darlington, where he led over 95% of the laps. Here comes Creed Daniel. Oh, boy. Watch out, 52. If Salvador is able to hold on, this would be his 3rd career win, including Season 2 Indianapolis and Season 2 Bristol, that night race, the second of the 2 Bristol races, as Luis Aguilar is falling off a cliff. Here he comes, the 65, Creed Daniel, coming to the front of the field. 4 laps to go from Kansas Speedway, the 1.5-mile oval. Salvador really clinging on to that lead. Really trying to hold on to what he's got here. I mean, Ronnie Martin, who started on the outside pole and has been running well all day, he's outside of the top 30. Really not a good way for him to end it. 3 to go. It's a two-way battle between Salvador and Creed Daniel. They have only 4.5 miles to go. Does Daniel have an aberration from the line and having a desire to pass? I hope he has a desire to pass. He wants that lead. He doesn't just want to sit as a lame duck in second. 2 to go. There he comes. He comes on the inside here. He's going to run him all the way down to the apron. He's probably going to get a good run. Oh no, he's kind of getting distance from the 52. On the backstretch, can he catch up? He's only going to have a few more corners to do it. They'll come to the white flag. The next flag will end the race. So no green-white checkers this time. We go straight through. Salvador up high. He loses the spot. It'll be a last lap pass. How about that to end your day? Creed Daniel looking for the second straight Pacific Racing win. You know, I kind of joked about Pacific Racing all last year because they had really not lived up to their expectations. Guess what? They are back. They are back with vengeance. Creed Daniel wins at Kansas. You love to see a last lap pass, even if the rest of the race wasn't that great. Your top 10, Creed Daniel, Armin Salvador, Luis Aguilar, Chase Buck, Carlos Rex, Dan Wilkins, Jacob Thibodeau, Kyle Driscoll, Sarah Fang, and Santiago Alvarez. Who's ready for the road course racing? Our second road course event of the year is next on the schedule. The Taco Bell 300K Blast at Riverside, out west in California. This is Dan Wilkins signing off for now. We'll see you guys next time.